Guild Wars 2 is a huge game, and it can definitely be a bit overwhelming when you're new. A lot of the game is pretty easy to understand, but there are definitely things that might take you a while to figure out. From hidden tips and tricks, to useful advice. Things that you wished you would have known sooner. If only there was a place on the internet where people made videos about things that you wished you would have known sooner. Hey there, my name is Levanity, and in the past year or so, I have been on a quest to answer all common Guild Wars 2 questions. And today, I am finally doing that video. Welcome to the things I wish I knew sooner in Guild Wars 2. Let's start off at the very beginning, leveling. As a new player, you might be tempted to just immediately rush to max level, because that's where most of the content is. But instead, my advice is to just take it easy and enjoy the rise. Back at launch, I spent about 2 weeks leveling to max level, and then I spent 12 years being max level. Enjoy your youth while you still can, young one. The leveling process is really only the very first part of your Guild Wars 2 journey, and I would almost consider it more of a tutorial. It is a great time to try out different kinds of gameplay, get immersed in the game world, and see if you even like the game. Almost anything you do in Guild Wars 2 will give you pretty decent XP. There's hard quests, events, you can do your story. Even just running around and covering areas will give you XP. You can literally just W your way to victory. But if you feel like you need a bit more direction and you don't mind speeding things up, check out the Adventure Guide achievements in your hero panel. These achievements give a ton of XP, and they will also make you try out lots of different things. It is a great way to get to know the game and get handsomely rewarded in the process. While you're leveling up, I also wouldn't worry too much about your builds. Leveling gets you hero points, and you spend these to unlock new skills and traits for your characters. A lot of new players get really stressed out when spending these hero points. But just leveling to 80 gets you enough to entirely unlock your core class. So for now, just pick what seems fun. You will unlock everything eventually anyway. Yes, Elementalists, I know that we all just unlocked the fire trait line first, but if you don't want to be dying constantly, the other trait lines are pretty helpful too. If you already have expansions on your account, don't bother leveling up elite specializations before you get to expansion content. Hero point challenges in expansions give you 10 hero points instead of 1. So if you try to do it before reaching an expansion, it will take you a really long time. Also, don't worry too much about which skills and traits to actually equip. You can always change your build anytime out of combat. Do not be afraid to experiment. Something else that tends to stress out new players is inventory management. Oh gosh, my inventory is such a mess, and oh no, I don't know what I can safely throw away. What if I accidentally throw away something super important or super valuable? A couple years ago, I actually almost did that.
Laura, that's several thousands of gold!
Really?
What?
Don't worry though, it's pretty unlikely that this will happen to you, especially in the early game. Here's a couple tips for inventory management. You can press this little deposit button to deposit all materials into your material storage, and you can do this from anywhere in the game walls. Just press this button and watch free space appear in your inventory. It is super satisfying. When you go to a merchant, you can also press sell junk in the sell menu to easily sell items that aren't used for anything else. Also, while you have the sell window open, you can right click items in your inventory to sell them from there, instead of having to look for them in the sell list. But if you want to make more goals, a lot of items can be sold for quite a bit more on the trading post. Just right click any tradable item and press sell on trading post to immediately open the sell window. If you haven't purchased any expansions yet, you will be limited in what items you are allowed to trade. Honestly though, don't stress out too much about your inventory. Most items that you get in the early game aren't worth very much, and you can usually easily get them again. Don't let your inventory stunlock you and stop you from enjoying the game. Something that is very much worth investing in is upgrading your backspace. There are loads of ways to get bags, like for example buying them on a trading post, and then you can equip them on the left side of your inventory. If you ever play the Living World Season 1 story, you will get loads of 20 slot bags for absolutely free. Also, consider getting the Advanced Logistics Mastery in the Pact Commander Mastery line. This mastery lets you turn on auto loot in your settings, so you just automatically loot anything that dies close to you. You will never have to press F ever again, except if your Elementalist friend refuses to equip anything but the fire trade line. Guilders 2's open world is filled with lots of world bosses and also large-scale meta events. You will probably run into some of these randomly just while playing the game. But if you ever want to fight a specific boss, or if you just want to know what's happening, you can check the event timer page on the official Guilders 2 Wiki. This page shows you exactly when and where different world bosses and meta events spawn. Also, definitely check out the rest of the Wiki too. It is an incredible resource with info on everything in the game. I think it's easily one of the best gaming wikis out there. You can even search the wiki directly from in-game by typing /wiki and then whatever you are searching for. As you do meta events and world bosses, lots of loot will appear in these little floaty chests above your minimap. You click these to open them. Unfortunately, this can get a bit tedious when there's lots of them. Here's a neat trick. You can actually right-click these chests to instantly open them and just immediately get the loot in your inventory. This doesn't work on every floaty chest in the game, but it does work for most of them. As you get all of this loot, you might be tempted to just equip the highest level gear that you find. And usually that is pretty good advice. However, once you hit max level, definitely also look at the stats on your gear. A lot of new players just equip any random gear without looking at these stats at all. I would know, I was one of them. Exotic gear is really good, but if it's got healing stats on it, it won't help your damage very much. Also, definitely don't forget about your trinkets. These equips give you almost half of your stats, and lots of new players just kind of forget about them. Again, kinda speaking from experience. When you first hit level 80, exotic gear is the gear you probably want to be going for. This gear is plenty good to get you through almost all content in the game, and you can buy it on a trading post. Ascended gear is even stronger, but it's only a small difference and you won't need it when you're first getting started. If you happen to get your hands on a piece of Ascended gear, but if it has the wrong stats, don't just throw it away. You can actually pretty easily change the stats on Ascended gear to make it fit your builds. For full info on stat swapping Ascended gear and getting gear in general, check out my Ultimate Gear Guide video that I did a little while back. That video lists almost every way to gear up, but it is missing one of the newer methods, the Wizard's Vault. The Wizard's Vault is Guilders 2's new daily system, and it is a lot like a battle pass. Fortunately, it is a lot more player-friendly. You unlock it once you get any character to max level, and you should definitely not sleep on it. There are daily objectives, weekly objectives, and special objectives. Doing any of these will get you astral acclaim, or as the community likes to call it, wizard coins. You can spend these wizard coins on lots of super useful items. You can get several pieces of Ascended gear, high quality crafting materials, level up zones, or even straight up gold. These rewards are genuinely fantastic, and as a new player you should definitely do your Wizard's Vault tasks. Something that a lot of new players don't know about is that you can customize your Wizard's Vault objectives based on what game mode you play. By default, every game mode is selected and you will get a combination of tasks. But if you only play PvE, you can press this little cogwheel and just change it to only give you PvE objectives. If you want to know what items in the vault are the best ones to get, I actually made a tier list video ranking all of the items in the vault. The link is in the description. If you are a completionist, something else that you might enjoy is 100% completing maps. I find this really relaxing to do while listening to podcasts or watching Twitch streams. However, there is always that annoying moment at the end where you're missing just one pesky little point of interest, and even though you swear you've done everything, you just cannot find it. Here's a tip. If you mouse over an objective type on the top left while you're zoomed in on the map, Any uncovered objectives that you haven't completed yet will light up. Oh my gosh, this is such a lifesaver. This has helped me out so many times. It's also possible that you are the opposite of a completionist, and that you are instead a story skipper. I love the story and I recommend you play all of it, but I understand that it's not for everyone. Just, don't you dare skip Living World Season 4. Guild 2 lets you skip straight to any story you want. So if you're not enjoying the base game story, you can just jump straight to any expansion or to any Living World season. This means that you can, for example, skip to Path of Fire story to unlock mounts early. Oh my gosh, this bunny is so ridiculously cute. Speaking of the story, let's quickly talk about Living Worlds. What even is Living Worlds? For the first 10 years of the game, the developers released seasons of story patches in between the expansions. These are known as Living World seasons, and each season it's like its own paid DLC with maps, content and features. If you want the full story experience, definitely buy these seasons. Season 1 is even free, so you might as well give that one a shot. But it's also totally cool to just focus on the expansions first. You can always go back and play Living World later. One of the best parts of Guild 2 is its community. Most people in the game are really friendly. They will drop anything they are doing to go and rescue, and there are always people willing to help you out in map chats. Definitely do not feel afraid to ask for help if you need it. One of the best ways to make friends is to join a guild. There are loads of different guild types. There's PvE guilds, World vs. World guilds, raid guilds, music guilds. You can actually join up to 6 guilds simultaneously, so you can totally join your friends' bare role-playing guilds without having to lock yourself out of ever joining another guild. I recommend just joining a couple and seeing if you enjoy the vibes. On a similar note, once you are at max level, definitely check out the LFG. This group finder system helps you find parties and squads for pretty much all content in the game, and it's kinda hidden behind this tab in the context menu. There are groups for open world bosses, different expansion maps, dungeons, strike missions, fractals. It is a great way to find people to play with, but sometimes the abbreviations can be quite a lot when you're new. KOCM, QDPS, KP.me, DRM, CM, VPN, PDF reader, but you will also find LFGs that say stuff like everyone welcome or easy strikes. These tend to be a lot more cozy and a lot more beginner friendly. If you want to get into instance content, I recommend starting with dungeons, low tier fractals and normal mode strike missions. For more advice to get into instance content, check out my other video on everything to do after level 80. When I was finishing the script for this video, I decided to be lazy, so I asked my Twitch chat what they wished they would have known about sooner. Like, you're gonna go to the comment section, you're gonna be like, Lara, you forgot about this one. And a lot of my viewers mentioned Action Cam. Action Cam is an alternative way to play Guild 2, where the game controls a bit more like a third-person action game instead of a traditional MMO. Your mouse becomes a crosshair, and you aim skills at enemies instead of targeting them with a mouse cursor. Personally, I do not use this, because I'm just too used to the regular controls. But I know a lot of players who exclusively play with Action Cam. You can try Action Cam by going into your keybinds, binding the toggle action camera keybinds and then pressing it. It's a bit hidden, but if you wished Guild 2 played more like an action game, this might really make you enjoy the game more. And with that, we are now at the end of things I wish I knew sooner in Guild 2. Well, actually, there is one more. I wish I knew sooner that there are loads of amazing helpful guides on youtube.com/Loranity. Maybe you want to check out the complete beginner guide, this video I did on unwritten rules, or this other video on gold making methods. Honestly, I wish I would have subscribed to youtube.com/Loranity sooner. And if you have any questions, you can go to twitch.tv/Loranity. I stream Guild 2 5 nights a week, and I am always down to answer questions. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.